There's so many things to be worried about for Motivate with this mid lane. So you might just have to go to a default kind of cheesy or just safe option if you are Motivate.Trust
Hmm.
here. Question is what though? Like you could try for like the leaner mid, who doesn't generally lose, but it's banned out now. So Neon's not going to
Hmm.
allow that to happen. What else is there?
Spirit Brothers are still in play. Maybe an Ember or a Void Spirit to buy
Not up
you
against the
space.
Viper though. It's pretty
Yeah,
tough.
it's so bad. So bad. It's just a Viper lane though. Like you've got to accept it. Maybe a Razor to counteract that if you do expect the Viper mid. Again, there's still flexibility. It could still just be a Paj snap instead with JG on the Viper off. That might be how they want to run it. It's just really hard for MG.Trust to close it out. They do have to pick first as well. So they're going to have to show their hand first. Makes it complicated. You need something if you're fearless to help out. I'd say, hmm. With the Void Spirit ban, it might just be the snap mid, so you could risk it. But the flexibility for Neon is just, it's a massive risk to take. I think a selfless one, as you said, is better. For some reason, I'm thinking of an OD, but it's just so iffy into either of those. And they go with Zeus instead. Ooh.
Okay. Interesting pick. Draft is a bit all over the place from Motivate, I must say, but
Mm-hmm.
suppose Zeus is one of those heroes that can still have a decent mid lane regardless of the Snapfire or the Viper. If you do get to the point where you have the Nimbus up, then you can rely on the Tiny to rotate across the map and help you set up kills with the Nimbus
Mm.
and Thunder God's Wrath.
Yeah. I think the hardest part is really just laning here. I think the draft is actually pretty stitched together. You've got clearly defined fours and fives. Neon is the one where it's really all over the place. I think we are still looking at Faceless Void 4 for play hard, I think. Unless, again, they go with a weird Viper support, which I do feel like we've seen once before, but
We have.
it, it seems so greedy, though. I think Neon's got to watch themselves with this. They need to hammer something in here, define their roles, and ensure that not all of your heroes are going to need farm, because even avoid support, you do need to build a little bit of gold up. You need to really get the EXP going because your chronos are so important. And Neon are going to have to think hard about this one to really tie it in.
I think Neon needs a playmaking hero though. Like
Hmm.
you've got the Void, and if it's a support Void, I guess he can make plays with the
Mm-hmm.
Snapfire, but I think you need a bit more than that. Like, it's a very greedy draft from Neon, for
Yeah.
sure. And it might come back to bite them if they don't have somebody that can just roam across the map and start securing power runes to make sure the Zeus doesn't get them, trying to set up kills for the Drow, for the Void, or whoever's going to be mid. It's like, what do you finish
Hmm.
off with here? Like, you need a pos 4 that can do something if you are Neon. Because right now, I don't see one.
Yeah, it's really it's tricky. Like even they're having a quick think about it now. I don't know. I think they've cornered themselves with the flexibility here a bit. Where do they go?
Wow, okay, a Storm. Don't know how I feel about this draft, John, from Neon Esports. Let's see who picks up what. I want to know what positions these heroes are
Yeah,
playing in
yeah.
first.
Come on, they've got to show it. I mean, it's straightforward for MG. You can already see, Master S Tide, Jackie PL again, Fearless Zeus, as we said. Neon. I hope they didn't disconnect. I mean, I they did. Did they? I see. No, it's
No,
not
no,
everyone.
they're there.
Yeah.
Everyone's reconnected. They're fine.
All
They
right.
just
Come
I
on,
don't
boys.
think they know what they're doing with this draft. If I'm honest, John, Yopaj is going to take the
Oh,
Storm.
okay.
JG's on the Void off lane.
Oh my
That's
God.
pretty old
Wh-
school.
Yep, but Snap Viper support duo.
Yep,
That
that's what they're running.
is. Honestly, I feel like I'd be happier with a Void support. I just with this kind of farm priority, Faceless Void, Drow, and Storm need farm. I mean, if you had the snap, at least once you finish Ags, you're done. You can kind of let it go maybe until you hit your level 20 mark. That's when you start looking for Daedalus, Desolator, all that right click build. But with a Void, Drow, and a Storm, if they don't find these big team fights as soon as they hit 6, and start taking some objectives with their Drow, I think MG.Trust are going to bring a lot of hurt. There's a lot of potential to just fall behind here. There's not enough jungle space to sustain these 3 heroes on the same side of the map. Neon has to be a bit careful. It is a rather explosive draft, though. So if they get a snowball start, then they can overwhelm. They're going to have to ride through that laning phase, really show us what you can do with a Viper Snap support duo,
Well,
and try to get as much as possible.
I think there's one thing that makes this game really simple in with the picks from Neon. It's as simple as this: if your Page doesn't have a good lane, if he gets stomped in the mid lane, the game's over. As far as I can tell from Neon.
Yeah.
So
I'd say
if
beyond that.
yeah, I mean,
it's like
I'm just saying as simple as I can possibly
yeah.
put it. If your Page does not dominate mid lane, the game's gonna be over. That's.
Oh yeah.
I don't see how you can find this much farm on a Storm, Void, and Drown at the same time.
It's scary. It's really scary for Neon. I'm not sure how you end up with these drafts. This reminds me of what we just saw from TNC, right? We saw Faces Void first, and then they kind of got stuck with a Bloodseeker, and then all of a sudden there was a Slark mid as well. This is almost the same issues in the same draft. So Neon, maybe they figure it out. Maybe they find the farm timings. MG.Trust is not the kind of team to let that greed go, though. These guys, especially with the Masteros tied, I think you will have to be very cautious about the team fights. Once Masteros hits 6, he's going to go in. I love that he's already queued up the Blink. He's not going for a passive tide. It's all about going for those fights. And if MG.Trust find a good timing in that Blink, you're in a spot of hurt here for Neon.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to fight for Motivate.Trust. You get the early blink up, you start going as 4, leave Jackie to just farm up freely at the top lane or wherever he wants to farm, and you can kill them up as 4 heroes. Like, you have Zeus, Tide, Tiny, and a Grimstroke. It's not really hard into the draft of Neon Esports. I don't know how Neon's going to slow this game down. They've got to do it somehow. See if they can make it work. I mean, if they lose this game, they are knocked out, and Motivate.Trust will continue forward. There's a lot riding on the line here for Neon.
Yeah, and a lot of pressure there, and look at these lanes breaking out. Of course, you've got Jackie up top with the PL, Boombell working his way up on the Grimstroke. PL Grim is a pretty decent lane. I think you are looking for both of these heroes to hit level 3 before you really flex your muscles there. Of course, they're going to be up against Playhard and Snap, JG on that Void. Off lane plays Void. It feels like it's been 3 years since we've seen that. Like, quite literally since 3 years ago. You used to associate this with Universe. Of course, it's been a while. We'll see what JG can get done. There's way more pressure on Playhard to actually make that space out. He has to maximize that Scatter Blast. Maybe once you've got the cookie as well, you can go for some stun plays. There's some opportunities there for Neon, but they've got their work cut out. You do not want Jackie to have a good lane here. We saw what he did last game. We saw him switch into the jungle at the timely point. Really just found everything he needed there. You have to be able to apply that pressure in a PL. It can't be a repeat of game 1.
No, it cannot. But how do you pressure the PL with this draft? That's my problem, John. How are they going to do that? Like, it's up to your Page to get this good game going on the Storm. Because the Drow's not going to do it. I mean, JG maybe could get a nice chrono or 2 off, but he can't kill the PL without a Mask of Madness and probably an MKB on top of that. And is he even going to go for a Mask of Madness this game, John? It looks like he might go Aura items on the Void.
Yeah, I think you have to. You just have to go for that utility build on JG. You hope that you've got enough damage outside with your Viper Drow. You kind of play with the Chronos like that. Still, we'll see how much they can do. Playhard already copying way too much damage there in the trades. You can see Boombell really positioning right and just finding the better end of that trade. Like, this is not what we're used to seeing from Snap's level 1.
No, it is not. Q, where did he TP to on that Tiny? All the way back to the fountain, so they do at least force the Tiny back quite nicely. Give Motivate a bit of a hard time down to this bot lane, where Masteros will be left alone up against Skem and Genuel. We'll have to sit back and just relax for a bit. They are able to free farm now in that bot lane, while we do see Q running his way back into the mid lane, where Fearless up against Yopaj is going Yopaj's way. Just by about 1 CS so far, but Fearless should be able to catch up very easily. He's going into that max arc lightning build that we tend to see from the Zeus these days. And of course, it does just allow you to escalate and farm a lot faster having that max Q. But bot lane, Masaros does end up dying. Januel able to pick up the kill on the Viper. Q was not around. He was trying to get the large cam pull off.
And this is what you need to do as Neon. You need to punish this dual melee lane with your 2 ranged heroes. Januel, of course, with the level 2, has the poison attack up. They have so much slow with the frost arrows flying in. Easily a lot of damage can fly out here for Neon. So they just play their spacing right like that. Punish Masaros for overextending. That's one way to get that farm up. That's one way to get the snowball off with a constant pressure. If Skem gets a good start, he might be able to melt some objectives early to buy themselves some space to get this draft started here for Neon.
Definitely so. Fearless is having a bit of a tougher time now. Yopaj with that early bottle. And the stick charges, of course, is going to be able to really pressure Fearless on this Zeus. He does have a bottle coming out of his own now on the Zeus, but it is going to be much harder to contest those power runes if you are Fearless. Of course, on the Zeus, you are a bit more susceptible to dying than the Storm. Q. Just going to roam in for a second. Not really going to be able to get Yopaj, but we'll make it very well known that Q will be waiting for an attempt, and looks like he might actually try and go back now, but top lane is where Boombell is dropping very low and will go down to play hard. Another nice pick off here for Neon Esports. They do manage to get the kill, and even bot lane Masaros again going to go down. Q is not there to help out. Q, he's still hanging around that mid lane trying to shut down Yopaj. Avalanche is there, but oh, the class. He gets the range creep, so Yopaj is going to turn around now. Just harass him back out, and Q, I think it's about time to leave, sir.
Yeah, he's not doing much beyond just sapping some EXP from Fearless. You need to help Masaros out, or at least get some stacks up for your team. Neon, though, 3-0. They are making the initial start work out. They're getting the aggression they need this lineup to have, and if they keep that punishment up, it could be MG.Trust that starts to fall a bit too far behind, so you have to watch that. They do manage to secure the regen rune for Fearless, though, so you're going to be happy on that Zeus. But so far, the last hits for Neon been on top. They're finding the initial kills, they're getting the initial control off. MG.Trust have to be careful about slipping up in the early game, because if you do get off on a running start for Neon, this draft can line up and the greed can't sustain itself if you keep finding kills.
Play hard, going to be chased down here by Boombell and Q. Blanche is going to be there with Toss. Not quite yet, but they waited out the cookie first. Nice toss timing from Q. Play hard, however, just going to go for the TP play, and is going to make it out. Just a lot of wasted time there from the side of Motivate.Trust.
Yeah, it's a lost opportunity. So another freebie going away from Neon. Good movements coming out from Play Hard, and of course you isolate Masaros. So he's lagging so far behind in this tide. He's level 3, Skem's at 5. The damage coming out is way too much, and ooh.
4 bounty runes as well.
Yeah, it's you're not getting the control here, MG.Trust. You're giving out a lot towards Neon. You've really sacrificed Masaros' lane. They need to either let the tide dip into the jungle, or start making plays elsewhere and making them count.
Q going to be able to help set up for JG to die there at the top lane, so they do finally get a kill on the board here for Motivate.Trust. So Q is going to have some more, so the Tranquils will come out now, so you can be a bit quicker on the Tiny. It does feel like their concentration should probably be focused in on that mid and bot lane, though, if you are Motivate.Trust. The Void, yeah, he's going to be annoying with the Chrono, but he's going to have it up anyway. You really are, you can't avoid that. But they are going to at least give Jackie a very free lane now on the PL. Be able to fight with absolutely, be able to farm with no contest. In the mid lane, Yopaj is going to get the first power rune, or rather the second. The illusion rune is there for Yopaj now, and Well, unfortunately for this Zeus, Fearless, he's just run all the way back to the fountain.
Yeah, it's really awkward just to move from MG.Trust. You're looking at the 2K lead for now for Neon. Yopaj has this level 7, so you could make a move on the sidelines if you wanted to, and looks like they are lining up. You don't have Chrono from JG, but they do feel pretty strong. They're just constantly contesting the pulse, making it hard for Neon to get anything done. And Scam, because of this movement, he has a free lane. So your Drow, actually going for the Hand of Midas build, is going to be able to find that steady farm and sustain himself. And Neon, they really do have to plug these holds in. This is not the early start you expect for them. If the Ags comes out from Fearless in a timely manner, though, I guess you can kind of play around that.
JG going to be chased out. Inkswell will connect, but JG is still going to be alright as Play Hard now comes in for a double cookie. Avalanche was there, but Yopaj going to zip in with the follow-up. Fearless is around to try and help out, and he is trying, but he only has the Arc Lightning to spam. Doesn't have Lightning Bolt yet. That means Play Hard can just keep going on to Boom Bell and eventually maybe pick up the kill, but no, the neutrals will get him and even Play Hard. Neutrals just killing both those supports, so nobody wins.
Oh, wow.
I suppose if you are Neon, you're still pretty happy with that, as you did get the XP and gold for the Tiny.
Yeah, it's definitely a worthwhile trade for them. MG.Trust falling behind now, 4-1. 2K lead being built up by Neon. Again, while this movement happens, you leave Scam alone. He gets to farm up. Yopaj, he's not under any pressure as well. He's just constantly playing in the jungle, filling up his bottle. The greed is actually working for Neon. This is really surprising. This is not what MG.Trust wants. They need to take a step back. Jackie is in the jungle. He's farming up safe. They need to exert some pressure in these lanes, though. Like, I really think Scam's going to be a problem if they don't contest this bot lane at all. The Midas is just about done. So that's a sub 10-minute Midas. It is with 2 rate bands on top, so really good farm for a Drow. And that's just set to escalate. This is worrying signs for MG.Trust, as the net worth lead will slowly grow with these pickups happening.
A lot of neutral items popping up now. All for the side, 2 for the side of Neon, 1 for Motivate.Trust. Now we'll give Jackie an Iron Talent to use though, so that does help him just farm faster now the PL. Gonna feel very nice for him. Yopaj in the mid lane, trying to work towards that Orchid build-up. He's getting there with that. Does have an Arcane Rune active, so he's thinking about going on to Q. He's just waiting for Play Hard to move in, and Q, Avalanche Toss is going to be there onto Yopaj, but it will not be enough. However, the Thunder Gods and the Arc Lightning. Alright, so Q goes down, but Yopaj does also die to Fearless, and Q will be very, very happy with that.
Yeah, it's a really big pickup there for Fearless. They slow down the Storm. That Orchid timing you were talking about might be offset a bit. Have to be careful with how far forward you're going. And MG.Trust, they see an opening bot. They're trying to get a push in. Their heroes do not shove towers fast, though. That is a weakness of this draft. But if there's no defense coming out, you're going to be able to find that objective anyway.
Both sides trying to get those tier 1s down. JG can't do it quite as fast on the Void, though. Masteros has the Ravage, but he is going to get jumped here by Yopaj. He'll probably just hold on to that ulti, and does. They do get the Tide. They do save that tier 1 tower. Be another kill out for the Viper.
Yeah, it's again a nice one for Neon. They're happy with that, maintaining a kill lead of 6-2. And looking at that build up here, Januel is not really cute ending up. You see the mech being queued up by Playhard. They are just going to split up on the map again, although Playhard.
Mid lane, going to go down to Fearless. He's getting some points now up in the Thunderbolt, so the damage output is certainly really getting up there now for this Zeus. Still just trying to work towards the Aghanim Scepter Rush, it seems like, on Fearless. And it's really what's going to allow them to activate this kind of strat that Motivate's trying to do. So you have that Nimbus up, it does make the map a lot smaller for Neon. For now, however, Neon are going to start pressuring that top tier 1, but Masteros will go for the TP play in. Scam, Ravage going to fly out, does connect on both, and now Q is there with the Inkswell. JG going to die to Masteros, and Scam will also die. And to make matters worse, that tier 1 top tower is probably going to get denied off. They will get no gold for it.
A really big play coming out from MG. Very patient of Masteros. Really good first Ravage. JG holding out in the Chrono a bit too much. I know he didn't know where anyone else was, but you do need to play with that. That is your biggest teamfight spell right now. You've got level 6 and play hard. I think with a respawn, you can take this opportunity to look for a Chrono opportunity. Ooh, Yapaj very close to catching out. Fearless is well up top, but not quite it. So they might not be able to get that push, but they are going to be able to split up on the map again, and there is a smoke. JG and Playhard want to play with Kisses and Chrono now.
Got Nimbus up in 1k gold. See if JG can get a big Chrono off. He'd love to catch out this Zeus. Instead, he will split up Boombill and Masteros, so he jumps in for the double Chrono. He's going to go straight after that Grimstroke, but Fearless is around. The Mortimer's Kiss is still going. Masteros is about to fall and does. Nice rotation out from Neon. That'll be 2 going down for Motivate.Trust. But I'd like to point out once again, John, Fearless is getting close to the Ags.
Oh yeah, and Chanuel bot?
Yapaj going to zip in onto Q, but the Avalanche toss is going to be up. Yapaj still trying to fight, but here comes Fearless with the damage output, and Yapaj will die. Jackie, meanwhile, does kill off Januel down to the bot lane. And while those 2 kills you got with that Chrono, they don't look so good anymore. You can't really lose Yapaj like that on the Storm.
You talked about it, but he's key to this draft and succeeding. The Orchid still further delayed. Not too far off from it, though. It's about maybe 900 gold, so 700 left for that item to be up. Once it's up, I think you get a massive power spike. Again, Jackie does not have anything like a Manta up yet, so you'll be able to punish the PL. They will need to punish this time. Jackie's been given a lot of free space. Is #1 in net worth despite this scam Midas on the Drow. So you need to really counteract that. There's the Ags on Fearless now as well. Nimbus in play complicates the Chrono. Even, in fact, complicates the Kisses as well. If they know where Play Hard, that's one constant way to cancel it.
Mid lane, Q getting jumped on the Tiny. Doesn't have any spells to throw out, so Yapaj will be able to get a nice kill for himself on this Storm. That's the one combination I'm looking forward to, is the Avalanche toss into the Nimbus. Just basically means you can kill anyone across the map. As long as Q is in position to try and get that Avalanche toss off. And there's your Blink Dagger on Masteros now. It's been a bit late for Masteros, but he does now have it up. And that does mean MG.Trust are ready to start smoking up and fighting. Oh, Taj. It's going to be alright. He does get the Arcane Rune. Go back to farming and just try and finish off that Orchid.
Yeah, just need to wait that out. And MG.Trust, as you mentioned, they should be looking for something here with the Blink Ravage. I think they probably will. It looks like they're going to clump up. There are no wards to spot the smoke, and there you go. 3-man.
That's all you need. They are going to fight into the Orchid of Yapaj, though. So things could be slightly more dangerous than anticipated. But they want Scam on that Drow. Scam just going to hide in the tree line. He should be alright. Scan out from the side of Neon, but it will not connect. The Dire Scan does connect, so they know where Scam is now. Do they go for him or do they go for the mid lane? It looks like they do decide on mid. So either they get the team fight or they get the tier 1 tower. And either way, you are happy if you are MG.Trust. Now Jackie wants to back off a bit. Just wait for them to try and start going in onto that mid lane. Neon, they've also smoked up with the Chrono. Both smokes will wear off. Both teams will continue to be very, very patient about when they show themselves. Except Jackie, who is still trying to bait them out. Does still have that siege creep active. Nice dodge on the scatter blast there. Yapaj, not even in that mid lane, he is currently farming the top lane, and they've seen him now, so they're going to go in straight onto JG. He has that Chrono, he needs to expend it, but he will wait it out, and that'll mean he is running very low on mana. They'll lose Januel. Back into that mid-tier 1 tower it is for Jackie.
And they get a hold on to the Ravage. If JG doesn't commit, then they won't go, although...
Oh, they Chrono the Grimstroke. With the Mortimer's Kisses, I mean, it's a kill, but now they're going to turn. JG Out of mana, Yapage does at least kill off Q across the map, but they still have the Ravage if they want to keep fighting, and Jackie says he does. Eventually we'll back off. Scam's still hanging around. That'll be enough. They'll hold on to the Ravage, they'll wait for another day.
Yeah, it's an 11-9 Neon. And they lost their mid tier 1. That's going to be a blow in the control in the jungle. Yapage is getting a lot of space out though. Like he did make use of his Orchid at least to get 1 kill. He is rushing the BKB, so he knows what he needs to do. He needs to be able to stand and fight, withstand the storm that is MG.Trust down the line, and just kind of try to play that game against him. You are still a bit worried though, because you don't have Chrono. There's a Ravage here from MG.Trust that Monstrous can still play with. The Manta style for Jackie, it's coming out fast, and it's still maybe a ways off, about 1,500 gold off. Well, 2,100 gold off actually, but oh.
Yapage almost drops. We'll go for the zip TP out, and we'll make it out. Very close call there for Yapage. He does start working towards that BKB, and of course that's going to be extremely important for the Storm. Without that BKB, you can't really join the 5v5s.
No, it's not an ideal situation. And looking at the itemization here from Neon, it's a shift up for Schem as well. Like he went Midas, he went Dragonlance, Yasha's up. He's going straight for the Ags as well. There's a lot of emphasis on just getting the hurt onto Jackie. That is one way to manage this PL out. Of course, Jackie, he's only going to have a Manta style when these items are up. He's going to need more defensive items to stay alive. And that could be one way for Neon to handle that. Just always have the tools to take care of the PL. If Jackie can't dance around, then he's not going to do as much damage in these prolonged fights. And it could work towards Neon's favor. There is a smoke out though. Q and Boombell alone. Gonna try to find something.
They're not quite alone. They've got the BOTs up now on the Zeus. Plus the Nimbus, of course. So they do have that to their advantage. Yapage gets scouted out. There's your Thunder Gods. There's your Nimbus. There's your Avalanche toss. And Yapage is gone. It's that easy.
Yep. It's scary for Neon. They're just not safe in any part of the map. There's always that potential for the global gank train to come in. And MG.Trust, they don't have the lead. It's still a less than 1k lead going the way of Neon.
Play
So
hard.
they're hanging there with Scamel though.
Play hard. I'm not sure about this one. JG's going to come in for a chrono, but the Inkswell is about to explode and waste a lot of time there for JG. Now Jackie's going to rush in, but you've got Scam around. With the multi-shot, they will be able to get 2. Jackie just trying to run away, and will be successful in doing so. So, not a bad chrono out from Neon Esports. They do at least manage to get both supports.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. I mean, you're still kind of upset that you lost your Podge, but you find something in exchange. You're not falling too far behind. You'll take it. Still, MG.Trust, they need to be a bit more cautious with that. Mascaras is going to have his Ravage up just about now. They could try to play around it if they wanted to, but it looks like they're just going to wait out. They've got the Manta up on Jackie now. Should be easier for him to sustain himself in these fights. They do have every ult up except for Thunder Gods, but they do have the Nimbus anyway. So you don't quite need the Thunder Gods when you've got that up. We'll see if MG.Trust finds an opening. Neon have been disciplined enough to kind of declump. Not staying together, which makes it harder for Monstrous to force something out. The only time they stick up is for the defense. And MG.Trust isn't quite in the position to get a big push going. They might start eyeing that bot tier 2. Maybe that's where the response in the teamfight breaks out.
The loot bet odds still favoring the side of Motivate.Trust this game. I would agree with that for now. Jackie's going to start working on towards that bot tier 2 tower. He's already trying to get towards that Eye of Skadi up next in terms of itemization for Jackie, so pretty much the same thing, except he did go the Hood of Defiance first. Nobody interested in fighting Jackie down to this bot lane. They're just going to let him take that tier 2 tower and set up for the top tier 2. Of course, the Thunder God's Wrath is going to pretty much tell them that there's no contest here from Neon. You've still got that Ravage though on Masaros. Like, I'm sure he really wants to use it. He'll TP up top, and looks like he'll just take the farm from this top lane, or maybe even just hide there and wait. JG's under vision. They're making their way over. Or not, JG. He's going to be able to walk out of there.
Yeah, it's another patient game from both sides. I think both are very weary of giving out those opportunities. So we're at almost the same situation from the first game. Really even on the kill board, really even on net worth. Just waiting for some key items to be up and waiting for someone else to force their hand first. There is some posturing over these runes, but yeah, not much. They're just going to be holding off a bit longer. They really do want to use that Ravage, though, Andrew.
This is the Avalanche there. Can't go for the toss back.
It's just a build up.
Yeah, I mean, look, it seems to favor both teams.
It's a patience game, right? Like, this is enabling the greed for Neon. JG's building up. He's actually going for the Ags as well and a Blink. So it is a utility void coming out here. The BKB for your Paj is going to be up soon, so you're in for a nasty surprise if you're MG.Trust fighting into that. And for MG.Trust side, you know, Scotty for Jack, he's slowly being built up. You already have the Blink up and Fearless, so he can kind of close the gap and get some spells off. And they are smoked up. They want to make something happen. They've been sitting on Ravage for way too long. The issue is finding someone.
They found someone, all right. Ixor's going to be there with the Avalanche toss out and the Nimbus of JG. Going to get blown up. Fearless does take the kill on the Zeus. Up towards that top tier 1 now. MG.Trust. While they are playing a slow game, it does seem to fit them anyway with this draft. They're fine with it.
It's the same thing. It's Jackie's getting farm while everyone else does, but the difference is Jackie's more willing to fight. He's just ready to run at you. He is joining his team for these engagements. And Neon are just not taking any chances. They're just playing so safe, and they might find Johnny well.
Probably will. Q has the Ixor once again with the Avalanche toss out from the Tiny. Glimmer Cape's going to buy some time, but they know he's there unless your Page going to zip through. But there's a Ravage available on Masaros. He's just not using it yet, however. Does get Januel, but Masaros, I don't know about these Ravages. He's a bit... What's the word I'm looking for? He's too conservative.
Definitely,
It may not have worked out, but you can at least try and disengage.
Yeah, I think the worry there was that Yopaj did have his BKB on, so he's like, it wasn't going to stop anything. I think he was just, you know, he surrendered to the fact that he'd be dead and is tying themselves to the fact that if he respawns, they might have a window where the BKB is not to be refreshed yet and go for a different play. So, gonna see if that chance pays off. They're mid-tier 1. Skem is ready to push. Doesn't stand for too long against a Drow. And looking at Skem, you know, he's got the Hurricane Pike. He's got the Ags. So if you fight in as the PL, it might be a bit of a risk. The damage is going to be flying out now from Skem. And they do still maintain a 1k lead here for Neon. They do have the tools on hand to force the fights. MG.Trust just being very patient in this game. Taking their time, trying to build up even more. Fearless, he's going for the Bloodstone build-up. So it's Sakaya into that Soul Booster, and once you've got that, you're set to go. It's going to be a bit longer until that's up. Masaros needs that Blink to get his positioning right. And we're going to even see a Blink, Force Staff from Q as well. So, waiting for these key items to be in. Again, Neon doesn't mind it. Both sides really don't. It's just building in. You know, the pressure's clumping up. And it's set to explode as Jackie. He's got the Scotty. And we know when Jackie has the Scotty, he does want to start showing up the map. So, they're going to be forcing something out now. I mean, they still have this Ravage. It's been minutes. It's been, what, maybe 5 to 10 minutes now where the Ravage has just been sitting there. I think Masaros is getting some itchy fingers to just make a play now.
Let's throw to plus say. Alright, 49% to 51. So MG.Trust apparently has a 1% advantage. It went up to 54 now, so 3%, or rather 4% advantage for the side of Motivate.Trust. Even though the Plus is waiting for the next big team fight. Just to see who's actually winning this game out.
Yeah. It's a game of chicken right now. You know, it's not like Neon can make any major moves because they keep getting spotted out by the Zeus. But MG.Trust are also, you know, they aren't really set to go offensive, and they scout out with the Turner Gods, but they don't really find any opening. So it's just rinse and repeat. Eventually, you will get that Bloodstone on Fearless. Looking at our Storm, Yopaj is also going for that same build, but you should be able to at least buy out some of the parts. So once you've got that in the Storm, you can really sustain yourself in the front, start dancing around. What's JG? JG's still saving up for his Ags, not quite up. And yeah, just it's like Harvest Moon right now. It's all about farming.
Roshan, still there. First Rosh of the game has not been touched.
Well, I mean, it's gone so long that tier 3 items are up.
Yep.
So maybe you find something good here for a scam. We saw him last time. I mean, he has the Grove Bow again. Maybe you find something even better from tier 3.
He's probably going to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Neon, yeah. I mean, they're posturing to defend. Motivate.Trust don't seem to be very interested in trying to make the push happen. They seem to have a lot of faith in Jackie to carry them through the late game. And mind you, he has been on top of the net worth the whole time, so he may deserve that faith. At the same time, I don't know, into a Drow Ags, it could be dangerous. You are still versing the Storm as well.
I think we've seen this from them before, though. Like, they also have trust in Masaros to make the right calls on his Tide. We know he likes going to right-click build on the Tide down the line. I think that's something they can fall back to if it does go ultra late. Of course, they've got a free ride here into the Rosh. Neon just don't have vision. I mean, they do have a ward on the ramp, but it doesn't look like they're going to get anything done here. It's just going to fall to Jackie slowly but surely as well. It's not a very fast Rosh.
Yeah, Neon, they're not going to be in range to try and contest. They're coming, but it is way too late. MG.Trust, they will take the first Roshan, and now Jackie has a Basher up. Just on the courier, gets another courier for himself. Working towards that Abyssal Blade, and that's where you've really got to be concerned if you are Neon. If Jackie closes the gap and gets the Abyssal onto the Drow, she's basically just dead.
Yeah, it's gonna be a scary spot. You've got Neon smoked up. We haven't seen them use the Chrono Kisses in a while as well, so they're just both sitting on their teamfight spells, getting the build up. They might cross each other down mid, but looks like Neon's, I don't know, they're coming in.
It's going to get to the point where Masaros is going to have a refresher orb coming up. If this game continues at this pace, you start to wonder whether that's a good thing for Neon or not.
It's not. I think we're looking at... I mean, to be fair, the BKBs are still fairly fresh here. It's been very passive. Like, Skem still has a 10-second BKB. You've got a 9-second charge here for your Paj, so the refresh has to be timed pretty darn well for them to really maximize it. I think Neon...
Paj, he found a support, and that should be an easy kill, and it will be. The Orchid will finish it off. Paj will just take care of Boom Belt. Doesn't really have a Bloodstone or anything like that, so he didn't really get any charges off it, but yeah, a kill's a kill. He'll take it.
Yeah, it helps him build his farm up. And we talked about it with Yopaj is key to getting that early momentum, although... Oh.
Tried to go into the Tiny, but he does force stuff at the right time and avoid it. Neon now. No, they're just going to back off again. No interest in trying to force any kind of towers out. You do have that full Bloodstone up now on Fearless. I suppose it's about that time to ask, John. What are you having for dinner tonight?
Dinner? I think I have leftovers. I think my parents are going out for hot pot with friends.
Oh.
So we have a family friend in from like the UK who came in because her mom was sick. So she's leaving soon. So they're having hot pot, but we get leftovers in the microwave. Classic.
Oh, unlucky you, mate. Big smoke up here from MG.Trust, but it was right underneath the ward. So the side of Neon should be able to avoid this very nicely. Now still moving up towards that top lane. They were trying to go after the Viper, but Daniel just TP'd back to the base. And they may counter smoke now, Neon. It might be about that time to go for a counter smoke and try to see if you can get something going with this Chrono. Be careful going into that triangle though. They'll spot out Masaros. Skem will get started. Ornament Kiss is being thrown out as well, but in the behind, Yopaj getting caught out on the Storm Spirit, and now Jackie wants to go. They do have a buyback on Yopaj, but he doesn't want to commit it like this. Jackie, Viper Strike, will just topple. Back onto play hard, but it's a lot of damage coming out from Skem. Jackie might lose the Aegis and does. Now JG jumps in for the Chrono. They got two of them, and with that split shot, Skem can get a double kill for himself on that drown. MG.Trust, they're done with this fight. They want to get out of there. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade for Neon.
Yeah, it's...
Maybe even more. Jackie being chased down the peel. He's going to be alright.
Yeah, it was a greedy play from MG.Trust. They went a bit too far forward. They were trying to dive to your trees. Not the play. Maybe a bit too impatient. Temper it back a bit. And wait for your opportunities outside. You've got all this farm on Fearless. Try to leverage it. He was not nearby to spam his own spells out. He did not have Thunder Gods up. And he did not have Nimbus to really throw out. So, gotta wait for that to be up. MG.Trust, a bit more patience, I think. Don't be too hasty to find these fights. Still, Jackie has the Abyssal. The Aegis would have had only 30 seconds left from this point, so it's timely enough that he did get to use it. Masaros still queuing up that refresh. You do have a Crimson Guard being built up by John Uel. Does lack a recipe, and that's just about 50 gold off. Once you've got that, you're going to be a lot more durable here on the side of Neon.
Oh, Q, that is way too deep. Gets picked off from that mid lane, and now the smoke is out. Neon, they want to take another fight. Right into Masaros, he'll break the smoke and goes for the Ravage onto 3 heroes, and they are dropping like flies. The double silence out from Boombell. Fearless will pick up the double onto Skem with the Abyssal Blade now from Jackie. He just continues to rush him. He'll manta off the silence. Can they get Skem though? Still on the run. Masaros does go down to John Uel somehow, but they do end up getting the Drow Ranger. Huge fight for MG.Trust. They're not even done. They have a Viper there. So a 4th kill now to come out for Motivate.
Oh man, that's how the tension unwinds, Mike. The MG.Trust, massive wins overall. No buyback on Skem. The high ground open for taking here, and with Jackie being as big as he is, they can start digging in onto those tier trees. You don't have Masaros, you don't have Ravage, but I think Fearless with his magic damage is going to be enough to stave them off. Neon, have to be careful with how you open here. Chrono is going to be up in 10. That might be an opportunity for them to punish Jackie.
They'll get one. Tier 3 tower that is, onto the bot racks. MG.Trust, they're probably going to just back off after this Rax is taken. No need to overextend without the Aegis. They will be able to take it. Of course, there is still a tier 2 mid tower standing, so they might start working towards that instead. We do have a creep wave on the way. Skem is still 25 seconds off respawning anyway, so they know they can do this. Just setting yourself up for some future success for MG.Trust.
Yeah, and the farm is building up here for Fearless, and he's got the Lincolns up. So getting an Orchid off onto the Zeus is going to be a hard prospect. They do take the tier 2 out. They might be looking to intercept. They have a rough idea as to where Neon is. They might be able to get some punishment out.
See you later, nerds. See you later, nerds.
Haj does not want to die here on the Storm, so he's going to TP straight away. JG also out of there. They don't get anything for their trouble. They'll hold on to the 5k net worth lead. Obviously, Jackie's going to be checking that Roshan, making sure that they are in position to take it straight away. And I do actually like that butterfly pickup from Jackie as well, John. It's going to make it very hard for Skem to get any damage in. is he does not have an MKB or anything like that. But they're going to run into each other, but the Ravage out again from Masaros, straight onto Scam, and they just rush the Drow. The Chrono's there, but it's not in time.
No.
They'll try to Mortimer's Kisses. Is it going to be enough? Probably not. Playhard just needs to run away. He's trying to help out Yapaj, who's jumping fearless, but Yapaj now, he's out of mana.
Oh, God.
Oh, Fearless is going to take it off him. Scam's down without buyback for 80 seconds. This is looking bad for Neon.
Oh, boy. That was just really masterful play from Masaros. He found the opening, he gets it in a big way, and Neon, the high ground, going to be knocked in. You might need to buy back here on Yapaj. You cannot let these objectives just go.
Zip in. Yapaj going to try and delay things, but they've got double siege creeps. It's going to be a hard defense to go for if you are Neon. Minimum 1 racks. Might even be 2. I mean, without the Chrono up, it's like, how do you defend this?
You can't. You really need Scam around with his right foot damage. That's the only thing that gives him the wins. And even these dives from Yapaj, it's much more risky for him than it is for the side of MG. And we clean up one. Looks like they might not be setting up for the next one. They pulled back. Rush is still a minute 10 off, but you're 2 racks up. You've got an 11k lead all of a sudden. And you've got tier 4 items to farm. So perfect timing. Maybe you find a Spell Prism here.
Perhaps. Problem is, you've got a Witless Shaco and a Leveler now up for the PL, so Jackie's going to be hitting those towers a lot harder, and he's also attacking a lot faster. Very, very nice item for MG.Trust, considering the position they are in now. Korea flying out from JG, just trying to scout out the Roshan, but it is not up yet. It is going to be 35 seconds away.
Oh, that's pretty unfortunate. No Spell Prism for Azu, so it looks like he's going to have to hang on to the Quickening Charm. Neon now as well. They get a little bit of space to farm that bot jungle. Maybe they clean out their tier 4s before the next fight emerges. But the Rosh is going to be up in 10, and there's a smoke here from MG.
Smoke up, Ravage is there. They want to try and take this fight before the tier 4 items are up on Neon. They don't really want Genuel. They want to try and find that Drow.
Oh.
Yapaj going to zip past. Genuel does get stunned up by the Nimbus, so they're just going to have to accept the kill they can get. That'll be a Viper gone. Down for 50 seconds without buyback.
It's an opening. MG.Trust. The Rosh is up. And it looks like Jackie's going to be able to scout it out, so they could go for the easy Rosh play. In fact, Jackie could probably just try to solo it himself. And Neon, they're not in a position to contest. Maybe you go with a sneaky zip. Maybe you try to go for a blink chrono play. But they just don't have vision. They don't have the info that the Rosh is going on now.
They don't. Third Rosh of the game going to MG.Trust. Excuse me, second Rosh of the game. Could have sworn we had another one before, but not quite.
No, it does feel like it though, because
It does.
it's around this time you get the third Rosh. So yeah, they've got a big advantage now here. MG, 13k lead, 2 lives up on their PL. They've got the cheese out on Masaros. Really safe time to engage. He did actually go for the Lotus Orb instead of the refresh rush. He's playing safe, but you know, 1 Ravage seems to be enough. He has been on point. The BKBs are just not being flicked on fast enough here for Neon, and they really do need to be on point with that use, because if you don't pop it on, Masaros just buys enough time that you die.
Play hard. Picked up by an illusion here. Jackie just back to that tier 3 tower. He has the leveler, so he does do some quick work with it. They're going to try and zip through the creeps, but they've got double siege creeps again, so they're just going to jump in with Q with the avalanche toss onto Play Hard. Play Hard is just easily going to go down, but he can buy back. They've got to jump in and fight. They're going to get megged. I know it's hard because they can't see Masteros, but they need to make a decision. Jackie, he's going to leave the range racks. He'll play this one safe. All right, there's your Aghanim Scepter up on your Page. He does not have buyback gold, but it's on cooldown anyway. So he goes for the Vortex. It's only going to be on the PL. Just trying to slow down this Rax from going down. Megas are now active. They do have the heroes to defend Megas, but it's going to make it very hard for them to get any form of farm or map control with these Mega Creeps coming in. And Neon Esports, I mean, what else are you waiting for now? It's like Skem is trying to work towards a Daedalus build-up. You may as well just go for the Rapier.
Yeah, it counteracts that butterfly. It lets you hit the PL. I think you just bypass this. Maybe lock that Crystallis down so you can kind of build into it. It doesn't look like they want to take that risky play. You have to. You're 21k behind. The team fights from MG.Trust have been way too clean. They've got refreshes coming out now for both Fearless, which is done. So he's got the refresh in Zeus, and Master is still saving up for his.
Ouch.
There's a lot of damage coming out here, and Neon, they need to really pop those BKBs faster. They need to be offensive with him. They need to go first. But props to MG. I mean, they've been so disciplined to just kind of force Neon in the awkward spots, and it's just going to be a slow chipping away here if Neon don't get anything done.
Well, they've got the Daedalus now, but it's still not going to be meaning much if you can't hit the PL. Jackie just going to slowly siege away by himself. His whole team is just going to stand outside the Radiant base and wait. Like, never mind, they're jumping in, but there's your Chrono. It's only caught out Tiny, and he already goes for him. So the Ravage comes in. Masteros got everyone with that Ravage. This game looks to be over. They are just getting collapsed on. There's only one person left in that Skem. They call it. GG has been called. Skem goes down as well. A full team wipe. MG.Trust. John, they've been looking great throughout the group stages, even throughout the playoffs. They're going to be able to make it through to the next round. And well, Neon Esports, they've also looked pretty darn good, but not good enough today up against MG.Trust.
No, it was a valiant effort. They tried something different in their draft. We questioned it. It looked like they found some moments early on, but they couldn't quite capitalize on them well. And MG.Trust, the better team on top, played consistently. Jackie went 8-0. Fearless was 10-0 on the Zeus. We tend to see the Zeus drop a lot, but they couldn't find him. And that's just very disciplined play. Good showing. Unfortunate for Neon, but there are a lot of fantastic teams in Southeast Asia now. It's been quite the shakeup. Still, we've got one more series up next, Mike. That's going to be one to watch out for as well.
It definitely will be. We do have new Esports going up against TNC for our final series of the night. And one of those teams will also have to be knocked out. We'll see which one's going to be in about 10 minutes. We'll see you soon.